Shalom, Chaverim, Shabbat Shalom. This is our favorite time of the week that you're joining us at about 6 o'clock. If you want to be accurate today, the Kabbalat Shabbat starting exactly at 6:13 in order of the 613 mitzvot that the Mighty One of Israel has given Israel. One of the mitzvot that is given to Israel is to guard and to protect the Shabbat. This is a special mitzvah, and the way we are to guard it is through what we call the Kabbalat Shabbat, the welcoming of the Shabbat in a very special way. And we are getting together every Friday evening, wherever you are, and we listen to the sweet aroma of the Shabbat. You know, Shabbat have a smell. It's have a smell. It's have a flavor. And we welcome you to join us today, as you recall, to Kabbalat Shabbat. And then after that, we will hear from Rabbi Bernstein in his series on Devar, Mussar, and Aleichem. But for right now, it's been a long week for all of us. Just take a breath in and smell the fragrance and the aroma of the Shabbat. We are joining every week with Chazan Golden for this real special intimate time with you, us, the Mighty One of Israel, who is joining us for this. On behalf of Ahavat Ammi, ministries and Yeshivat Shavu, we wish you all Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to you, Chazan.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
Shabbat Shalom to you, Pastor Matt.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
Shabbat Shalom to you, Talmida Carola. You're muted, but I can see your lips moving. Unmute yourself, Carola, so I can hear Shabbat Shalom. Oh, I muted you. I'm sorry. It's my fault. Let's try it again.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
It's so good to have you all here with us and everybody who is watching online right now. We wish all of you a sweet, sweet Shabbat with the aroma of the Mighty One of Israel and his son, Yeshua. Chazan, we are ready to welcome the Shabbat together.
Yes, indeed we are. We'll join together in singing a traditional song that helps us welcome the Shabbat and puts us into the right mood. It's entitled Yedid Nefesh. Yedid Nefesh Avarachaman, Yedid Nefesh Avarachaman. I'll tell you, Rabbi, let's start the song again and move on to the next slide so the people that are watching can join together with us in singing the words.
Absolutely.
Here we go. Follow it in the Hebrew or the transliteration. Yedid nefesh avarachaman, Yedid nefesh avarachaman, Meshochav dam el tzona, Meshochav dam la 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 el tzona. Sing that with us again. Yedid nefesh. Sing it again. Yedid nefesh avarachaman, Yedid nefesh avarachaman, Meshochav dam erizona, Meshochav dam la 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 erizona. Yarutz Adecha, Yarutz Adecha, Gemaya, Ishtachavei, El Mul Hadar, ידידותיו מנופף לי 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 back to the beginning, sing Yedid Nefesh, Yedid Nefesh, Rachman, Yedid Nefesh, Rachman, Meshochav Eretzona, Meshochav Ya la 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 la
Amen v'amen.
Amen v'amen. You know, there are so many ways of singing Shalom Aleichem. Let's join together the first verse and sing it the traditional way. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mihei Melech, Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But we can change the melody. La 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 same words. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, 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 Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch. Second verse, Baruch Hu Nila Shalom, Baruch Hu Nila Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. La 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 the next two verses. Ohem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, 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 Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Aleichem Shalom, Aleichem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, 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 Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. La 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 la
Do you realize this, Chazan Gordon? That the very first word that the Messiah of Israel will say when he sees us is this word Shalom.
Yes,
Listen to this.
yes.
It says, how welcome on the mountains are the footsteps of the herald, announcing happiness, heralding good fortune, announcing Zion. Your God is King. What is the very first word he say? Mashmiya Shalom. When we sing this beautiful song, Zetchem LaShalom, we greet the Messiah. And we continue with Psalm 95 today.
Which is the very beginning now of the traditional worship service, as we begin with Lechun Ranana, a wonderful melody sung all around the globe. Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana, Adonai. Naria, let's sing it together. Naria, Naria, Litzor Yishenu, Nikadma Fan B'toda. Again. Naria, Naria, Litzor Yishenu, Bezmerot Naria Lo. Lecho Neranena, Lecho Neranena, Lecho Lecho Neran Adonai. Lecho Neranena, Lecho Neranena, Lecho Lecho Neran Adonai. From the beginning, Lecho Neranena, Lecho Neranena, Lecho Lecho Neran Adonai. Lecho Neranena, Lecho Neranena, Lecho Lecho Neran Adonai. Naria, 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 Etzor Yeshenu, Nikadma Van B'toda. Naria, Naria, Etzor Yeshenu, Bezmerot Naria Lo. Lecho Neranena, Lecho Neranena, Lecho Lecho Neran Adonai. Lecho Neranena, Lecho Neranena, Lecho Lecho Neran Adonai.
In God's hand are the depth of the earth. The peaks of the mountains are God's. God is in the sea. God made it. And the land which God's hand fashioned.
Come, let us bow down and kneel. Bend the knee before Adonai, our Maker. For Adonai is our God, and we are the people God tends, the flock in God's care. If you would but heed God's charge this day.
Arba'im shenakut bedor, la'omar amtuei levavhem, vehem lo yadehu drachai, asher nishbati va'api, im yevohun el menuchati.
Continue with Psalm 96. Especially these days during the counting of the Omer, we say those words in Hebrew. Shiru la'Adonai shir chadash. Shiru la'Adonai kol haaretz.
Sing to Adonai a new song. Sing to Adonai all the earth. Sing to Adonai, bless God's name. Proclaim God's victory day after day. Tell of God's glory among the nations, God's wondrous deeds among all peoples. For Adonai is great and much acclaimed. God is held in awe by all divine beings. All the gods of the peoples are mere idols, but Adonai made the heavens. Glory and majesty are before God. Strength and splendor are in God's temple.
Yismechu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz, Yeram hayam umelo, Yalo Sonai v'chol asher bo, Az yeronenu kol atzei ha'ar, Lifnei Adonai kiva kiva, Lishmot haaretz, Yishpot tevel betzedek, Ve'amim ve'emunato.
Adonai malach tager haaretz. Adonai is sovereign. Let the world rejoice.
God's throne is founded on justice. Though God be clouded from view, divine justice reveals God's presence.
God's lightning illuminates the earth. Fire consumed God's foes. Mountain melt like wax before Adonai. The earth trembles.
The heavens proclaim God's righteousness. All people behold his majesty.
Shame covers those who worship idols, those who take pride in revering images, which must themselves bow low before God.
Hearing of your judgments, Adonai, Zion exults, and the cities of Judah rejoice.
You are supreme over all the earth, highly exalted beyond all that is worshipped.
Those who love Adonai hate evil. God protects the faithful and saves them from the wicked.
Light is stored for the righteous, joy for the honorable.
Rejoice in Adonai, you who are righteous. Acclaim the holiness of God's name.
Ohavei Adonai, Sinehura, Shomer nafshot chasidav miyad rashaim, yatzilem. Or tzarur al tzaddik, kol yishre lev simcha. Simchu tzadikim b'Adonai, vehodu lezecher kodsho.
מזמור, שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, כי נפלאות עשה. הושיע לו ימינו, ולזרוע קודשו. Sing to the Lord a new song, for he has performed wonders. His right hand and holy arm has wrought deliverance for him. The Lord has made known his salvation. He has revealed his justice before the eyes of the nations. He has remembered his loving kindness and faithfulness to the house of Israel, all from the fattest corner of the earth. Witnessed the deliverance by our God.
Raise your voices in jubilation to the Lord. All the earth, burst into joyous song and chanting. Sing to the Lord with a harp and the sound of song, with trumpets and the sound of the shofar. Jubilate before the King, the Lord. The sea and its fullness will roar in joy, the earth and its inhabitants.
Ne'arot yimchau chof, yahad harim yeranenu. Lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz. Yishpot tevel betzedek, ve'amim be'mesharim.
Adonai malach irgazu amim. Adonai is sovereign. Nations tremble. God is enthroned on high. The very earth quivers.
Adonai is great in Zion, exalted over all peoples. Let them praise God, for God is awesome, holy.
A sovereign mighty rules with love and of justice. You alone bring about equity, ordaining justice and compassion for the people of Yaakov.
Exalt Adonai our God. Worship God who is holy.
Moses, Aaron, Samuel, God's chosen one, call out to Adonai, who answered them in a pillar of cloud.
They zealously strove to obey the divine law, even when God's decrees were beyond their grasp.
You responded to them with compassion, even as you rebuked them for their offenses.
Extol Adonai and bow toward God's holy mountain. Adonai our God is holy.
Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Tam El Nosei Hayita Lahem Venokem Halalilotam Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Veishnachavu Lehar Kodsho Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Mizmor LeDavid.
מזמור לדוד, אבו לאדוני בני אלים, אבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז. A psalm of David. Ascribe to Adonai, O divine beings, ascribe to Adonai glory and strength. Ascribe to Adonai the glory of God's name. Bow down to Adonai, majestic in holiness. The voice of Adonai is over the waters. The God of glory thunders. Adonai over the mighty waters. The voice of Adonai's power. The voice of Adonai's majesty. The voice of Adonai breaks cedar. Adonai shatters the cedars of Lebanon. God makes Lebanon skip like a calf, Syrian like a young wild ox. The voice of Adonai kindles flames of fire. The voice of Adonai convulses the wilderness. Adonai convulses the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of Adonai causes hinds to calve and strips forest bare. While in God's temple all say, glory. Adonai sit enthroned at the flood. Adonai sit enthroned, sovereign forever. May Adonai grant strength to God's people. May Adonai bestow on God's people well-being.
Kol Adonai yecholel ayalot, vayechesof yarot, uvecholo kolo, omer kavod. Adonai lama bo yasham, vayeshev Adonai melech leolam. Adonai oz le'amo yitein. Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom.
This special time where we sing this special melody for the Lecha Dodi. And last week, I love the way the cantor has done the Lecha Dodi together with his student. And I think it's appropriate to understand what the Lecha Dodi is. The Lecha Dodi is nothing more than a love song, a great, great love song that the groom has for his bride. And I love the way that this song ends. Toward the end, he says, shake off the dust and arise, dressed in garments of glory, my people. Through my son, Ishai, Jesse of Bethlehem, redemption draws near to my soul. In essence, what the song is teaching us today, the Lecha Dodi, that the awakening, the waking from the ashes, which represent mourning, represent death, the resurrection is happening through. That's why I say in the Hebrew, Al Yedei Ben Ishai, through the power of son of Jesse. I can't stop and thinking about the words of Yeshua, who said, I am the Lord of the living. I am not the Lord of the dead. What does that mean? It does mean that the entire Lecha Dodi song, perhaps we read it all wrong. It's about a bride that went away. The bride ran away. She became dirty, maybe even filthy. But it is the groom who continued to look for the bride. And he see the bride from afar. He said to her, I have brought you a new garment. I have brought you a new clothes. And those clothes are the clothes of a bride, of a royal bride. And today Israel is like this royal bride getting ready for the night of the bride, Shavuot. This is perhaps one of those songs that the Messiah, his angels, the merit of his angels singing right now in the heavens over Israel. When they say, shake off the dust, Israel, it is not too late. You ran away, but I will never, ever stop seeking you. We are singing tonight, friends, in the Lecha Dodi, the greatest Jewish love song that has been ever written. And the conclusion of this story is that the groom and the bride come together. Paul said, in that day, all of Israel shall be saved. And how does it happen? Through the son of Jesse, Messiah, son of David. Let us prepare ourselves tonight. Shabbat is simply a rehearsal for this great event, the giving of the Torah, the Shabbat. All those are just signs, symbols to prepare us for this awesome day when God will come down and complete the wedding to his people Israel. Let's together hear this song, and wherever you are right now, sing those words. They're simple. Lecha, Dodi, Likrat, Kala, Pnei, Shabbat, Nekabela. This is the song today, the great wedding song. And I love the melody that the cantor has put this for. Thank you, Chazan.
You're welcome. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela Lecha Dodi lekrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela.
Shamor v'zachor midibor echad, Hishmianu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'litila.
Lecha Dodi lekrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela.
Likrat Shabbat lecho v'nilcha, Ki mekor habracha, Merosh mikedem nesucha, Sof maaseh b'machashava tehila.
Lecha Dodi lekrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela.
Mikdash melech ir melucha, Kumitzim mitoch hafecha, Rav lo shevet b'mechaba, Vehu yagamo alayikni hemla.
Lecha Dodi lekrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela.
Hidnari me'afar kumi, Livshi b'di tivartecha mi, Ayad ben Yishai beit halakmi, Karva el nafshi gala.
Lecha Dodi lekrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela.
Hitoriri, Kivore kumi hori, Uri, Shida beri, Kevod Adonai, Alayik nigla.
Lecha Dodi lekrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela.
Lo tevoshi velo tikol me, ma tishtochache uma teme. מה יחסו עניי עמי ונבנתה עיר תהילה.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
והיו לשמשה שוסייך, ורחקו כל מבלייך, יסיס עלייך אלוהייך, כמשוש חתן על כלה.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תריצי, על ירש פן פרצי, ונשמחה ונגילה.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון. A song for Shabbat. It is good to acclaim Adonai, to sing your praise, exalted God.
To affirm your love each morning and your faithfulness each night, to the music of the lute and the melody of the harp.
Your works, Adonai, makes me glad. I sing with joy of your creation.
How vast your work, Adonai! Your designs are beyond our grasp.
The thoughtless cannot comprehend. The foolish cannot fathom this.
The wicked may flourish, springing up like grass, but their doom is sealed, for you are supreme forever.
Your enemies, Adonai, your enemies shall perish. All the wicked shall crumble.
But for me, you have greatly exalted. I am anointed with fragrant oil. I have seen the downfall of my foes. I have heard the despair of my attackers.
Sadiq Admar Yifrach, Keret Balvanon Yiskim, Shitulim Bevet Adonai, Bechatzrot Eloheinu Yafrichu. Od Yenuvun Beseva, Dishene Bechananem Yehu, Lehagid Ki Yashar Adonai, Tsuri Velo Avlatabo.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, אמן. ועלמא דברה חירותי, וימליך מלכותי, ויצמח פורקני ישוע משיחי, אמן. בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל. Together. בעגלה, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב אמרו, אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו. להילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. Together. תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו,
Amen.
Amen.
We're getting into the Baruch Hu now. The Baruch Hu is an important prayer. Baruch Hu means to bow, to kneel, and it's also meant to be engrafted in, to be grafted. And especially as we are entering into the Shabbat, it's our desire to be grafted, Lord, to you, to your Son, to the God of Israel, to the covenants you have given us. So thank you, Lord, that we ourselves call upon you in this Shabbat and say, God, bring us in. Bring us in. And we say together the Baruch Hu. Praise the Lord, to whom all praises is due.
Praise the Lord, to whom all praise is due now and forever.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Together. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam ba'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam ba'ed. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Sing that with me. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam ba'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam ba'ed. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach.
ברוך אתה, אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בדברו מעריב ערבים, בחוכמה פותח שערים, ובתבונה משנה עתים. הוא מחליף את הזמנים, הוא מסדר את הכוכבים במשמרתיהם. ברקיע כרצונו, בורא היום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, King of the universe, who by his word brings on evenings, with wisdom open the gates, with understanding alter periods, changes the season and orders the stars in their heavenly constellation as He wills. Amen. Amen.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב הרבים.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. With everlasting love, you have loved the house of Israel, your people. HaTorah and commandments, statutes and judgment have you taught us. על כן אדוני אלוקינו, בשכבנו ובקומנו נשיכה בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. Therefore, O Lord our God, when we lie down and we rise up, we will meditate on the statutes. Yes, we will rejoice in the words of your Torah and in your commandments forever.
כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובוהם נהגי יומם בלילה, מאהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל.
In 3 books of the Bible, Devarim, Deuteronomy, Mark, and Luke, we find the words of Shema. Yeshua was asked, Rabbi, which one is the most important commandment? And he answered with these words, Shema Israel, Adonai Elokeinu, Adonai Echad. Sometimes you would notice when people say the Shema, they cover their eyes. You find this in the words of Yeshua himself. And he said, when you pray, go, enter to a room, close the door. Why did he say that? Because if you focus on the mighty one of Israel, he will return. Focus on you. So today, as we sing this prayer, Shema, I pray that your heart, your mind will be directed, not on the 50 other pages you have on your Facebook page or your YouTube page or the phone that you're scrolling while listening to us, but truly, come on in right now. Tune everything out. Turn everything off and focus on the mighty one of Israel with these beautiful words of the Shema. Amen. Amen. Yeshua continued and he said, the second greatest mitzvah, ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Yeshua said that there is no greater love than one willing to lay his own life for his brother. That's, friends, is core. Many times people ask me the question, how can it be that Yeshua died for our sin? How can it be? Because the Torah clearly prohibits human sacrifice. It is true that human sacrifice does not allow. But when one lay himself down willingly for the life of other, the Torah teaches us that there is no greater mitzvah. There is no greater merit than one who does mesirut hanefesh, give his own life for somebody else. So today, when we say the Shema, ask yourself the question, are you willing to say as Moses said, blot me out? Or when Paul says, cut me off so that Israel will be able to enter in? What are we willing to give to hear today the voice of the mighty one of Israel? Let us close our eyes and focus on the Shema so that we can truly hear his voice today. Amen v'amen.
Now, before you close your eyes, I would like to teach you a new melody to sing for the Shema. And this melody has two components. One, the words, where we sing the words. And then we go into a section where we just sing ah. And when we sing just the ah, I want you to think about the words, because singing ah is so easy. Think about the words and what they mean to us, what they mean to those who hear us pray. Also, there are minhagim, where the second part of the Shema is not sung. But we're going to sing that this evening, this Shabbat Eve. The translation be it, bless his name, Baruch Shem, whose glorious kingdom is forever and ever. And I particularly, as one, I love to shout it on the mountaintops. Bless his name, whose glorious kingdom is forever and ever.
Amen.
Well, here's the new melody. And remember, the first part we sing together, and then we find this note and hold on to it and think of its meaning. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Try it with me. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Sing it again. Baruch Shem, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto le'olam va'ed. Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto le'olam va'ed. And we continue on the next cell.
I love this new melody, Chazan.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It does give your spirit a chance to fly. Let's join together now in the chanting of the Ve'ahavta. We'll go slowly enough so you can, yes, chant the words and the melody together. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם. בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך
And you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you today shall be upon your heart. And teach them diligently to your children, and speak of them when you sit in your home, and when you walk along the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And bind them as a sign on your arm, and let them be tefillin between your eyes, and write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
True and trustworthy is all this, and it is established with us that he is the Lord our God, and there is none beside him, and that we, Israel, are his people.
It is he who redeemed us from the hand of kings, even our king, who delivered us from the grasp of all tyrants.
The God who on our behalf dealt our punishment to our adversaries, and we quitted all our mortal enemies, who does great things, yeah, and wonders without number.
Who maintains us in life and does not suffer our feet to slip, who made us overcome and conquer our enemies, and exalted our strength above all them that hated us.
Who wrought for us miracles and retribution upon Pharaoh, signs and wonders in the land of the children of Ham, who in his wrath smote all the firstborn of Egypt, and brought forth his people Israel from among them to everlasting freedom.
Who made his children pass through the divided Red Sea, but sank their pursuers and their enemies in its depths. Then his children beheld his might. They praised and gave thanks unto his name.
משה ובני ישראל לכנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נטר בקודש נורא תהילות I'd love you to sing that with me. Here we go. Mi amoha ba'elim Adonai. Mi amoha ne'adar ba'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef eleh. Malchut charahu v'necha. Okay, I am livnei Moshe, Ze'eli hanu ve'ameru, Adonai emloch le'olam va'ed, V'ne'emar ifada Adonai et Yaakov, וגאלו מיד חזק ממיינו. ברוך אתה אדוני גיא ישראל. אשכיבנו אדוני Eloheinu leshalom, Amideinu malkeinu lechayim. Sing that again with me. Ashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Amideinu malkeinu lechayim. Going on to Ushmor Tzeitenu, Ushmor Tzeitenu, Eloheinu lechayim. Shalom Tabe'arolam Ushmor Tzeitenu Eloheinu L'chaim Shalom Tabe'arolam. One more Ashkiveinu Ashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom עמידנו מגנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, עמידנו מגנו לחיים.
Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and our coming, to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people, Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Join me from the beginning. Here we are. Shameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam b'ritolam. Something's wrong. We got to redo that cell. Let's go on to the next one, please. Next cell, please. Okay. Ki sheishet yamim Mussar Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz u'bayom hashvi Ahavat Ammi Devar. Can we go back and do the Vishamru again? We just didn't give it its due. Here we go. Let's give it a try. Shameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam b'ritolam b'ni u'bein b'nei Yisrael odid le'olam. So we'll get through this. Ki sheishet yamim Mussar Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz u'bayom hashvi Shabbat v'yidavar. This is a very, very special song. The words come from Bereshit, and we usually sing them before we do the Kiddush. But we find this in our Kabbalat Shabbat service. And we join together in singing this wonderful melody. I love singing it every time we do it. Vayechulu hashamayim v'ha'aretz v'chol tzivav. Vayechal Elohim bayom hashvi'i melachto asher asa. Vayishvot bayom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa. Vayivarech Elohim et ביום השביעי ויקדש אותו כבוא שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. Cantor, it's so nice singing that. Can we do it again from the beginning so we can join you this time? Here we go. Right from the beginning of Vayechulu. Vayechulu hashamayim b'ha'aret b'chotzev ha'am. Are you ready? Here we go. Vayichal Elohim Vayom Ashvihi Melachto Asher Asa Vayishmot Vayom Ashvihi Mikol Melachto Asher Asa Vayikarech Elohim Et Yom Ashvihi Vayikadesh Oto כבוא שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. Going into the short Avot. Join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Konei Shamayim v'Haaretz, Magen Avot, בדברו, בחיי מתים במאמרו, האל הקדוש שאין כמוהו, המניח לעמו ביום שבת קודשו, כי פעם רצה להניח להם לפניו נעבוד ביראת בחג ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד ואין הברכות אל ההודעות אדון השלום מקדש השבת ולברך שוויהיה ומניח בקדושה לעמק דושני יונה זכר למעשה Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu, Ritzei, Ve'venuchateinu, Kadeshenu b'mitzvotecha, ותנקנו בתורתך, סבנו מדובך, ושמחנו בישועתך, ותהל ליעבדך באמת והנחילנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה ורצון שבת קודשך ינוחו ישראל מקדשי שמך ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. As we go into this very, very special prayer, my wish is not to leave anyone behind. So once again, I will chant a phrase and have you repeat it. And then when we're completed, we'll go through the whole thing together. Avinu shebashamayim, yikadash shemecha. Your turn. Avinu shebashamayim, yikadash shemecha. Tavo malchutecha ye'aser retzoncha. Together. Tavo malchutecha ye'aser retzoncha. Ka'asher bashamayim gam ba'aretz. Together. Ka'asher bashamayim gam ba'aretz. Et lechem chukenu ten lanu hayom. Together. Et lechem chukenu ten lanu hayom. Umchal lanu al chovotenu. Together. Umchal lanu al chovotenu. Ka'asher machanu. Together. Ka'asher machanu. Gam anachnu lecha yaveinu. Together. Gam anachnu lecha yaveinu. Ve'al tivienu lidei nisayon. Together. Ve'al tivienu lidei nisayon. Ki im techatzenu min hara. Together. Ki im techatzenu min hara. Last two. Ki lecha hamamlecha v'hagavura v'hatiferet. A little longer, but let's give it a try. Ki lecha hamamlecha v'hagavura v'hatiferet. And the last one. Le'ol me'olamim. Together. Le'ol me'olamim. Okay, are you ready? Here we go, right from the very beginning together. Get the feeling, get the spirit of it, and know that these are his words that he's teaching us. Avinu shebashamayim yikadash shemecha. Tavo malchutecha ye'aser retzoncha. Ka'asher bashamayim gam ba'aretz. Et lechem chukenu ten lanu hayom. Umchal lanu al chovotenu ka'asher machanu. Gam anachnu lecha yaveinu. Ve'al tivienu lidei nisayon. Ki im techatzenu min hara. Ki lecha hamamlecha v'hagavura v'hatiferet. Le'ol me'olamim.
Amazing, incredible. That's absolutely incredible. Thank you, Chazam, for this.
Our Father in heaven, may your name be sanctified. May your kingdom come. As your will is done in the heavens, may it also be done on earth. Give us the bread that is our portion today, and forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven those indebted to us. And do not lead us into temptation, but save us from the evil one. For to you is the kingdom, the power, and the glory for endless eternities.
Aleinu l'shabeach. Do you wish me to continue?
Yes, please.
Okay. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו עיינות, אמת מלכנו בסולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשמות למלך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת עינו. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד. Sing that with me. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד. ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו
And give your voice to rest for a moment. This has been a very, very important, intensive week. We celebrate Yom HaShoah, very emotional service.
Yes.
And I would like everybody to know that also on Tuesday, we're going to have equally emotional service with Yom HaZikaron, when we remember the IDF soldiers who have died from 1948 and so on. So I'm just going to read this prayer. And I also want to remind everybody to join us Tuesday morning for this. יתגדל ויתקדש מרבה, בעלמא דביא חירותי וימליך מלכותי, ויצמח פורקני ישוע משיחי בחייכון וביומכון ודחל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יש מרבה, מבורך לעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלש ויתעלל שמי קדושה בריחו. לעולם ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה נחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יש למה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו
Amen.
Lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. Amen.
Amen.
Bless the household of Israel, wherever they dwell. Be with us here where we worship you in freedom, and may those who live under oppressive rule find release and liberty speedily in our own days. Amen ve'amen ken yehi ratzon. Pastor Matt.
May your favor rest upon Israel, her land, her people. Protect her against hatred and war. Grant that the promise of her beginning may ripen into fulfillment. Bring comfort to those who seek refuge, light to those who dwell in darkness, new hope to all humanity. This we ask in the precious name of Yeshua HaMashiach.
Amen. Beautiful addition. The state of Israel will foster the development of the country for the benefit of all the inhabitants. It will be based on freedom, justice, and peace, as envisaged by the prophets of Israel. It will ensure complete equality of social and political rights to all inhabitants, irrespective of religion, race, or sex. It will guarantee freedom of religion, conscience, language, education, and culture. It will safeguard the holy places for religion, and it will be faithful to the principle of the Charter of the United Nations. In Eretz Israel, here, the spiritual, religious, and political identity was shaped. Here, they first attained the statehood, created cultural values of national and universal significance, and gave to the world to the eternal book of books.
We extend our hand to all neighboring states and their peoples in an offer of peace and good neighborliness, and appeal to them to establish bonds of cooperation and mutual help with the sovereign Jewish people settled in its own land.
The state of Israel is prepared to do its share in a common effort for the advancement of the entire Middle East. We appeal to the Jewish people throughout the diaspora to rally around the Jews of Eretz Israel in the task of immigration and upbuilding, and stand by them in the great struggle of the realization of the age-old dream, the redemption of Israel. In the city of Tel Aviv, on the Shabbat Eve, the fifth, I don't think this is correct actually, but we continue. It's not the fifth day of Iyar. We just enter to Iyar for the Rosh Chodesh. Actually,
No, that was the date when this was written back in 1948.
Unbelievable! This is in the independence of Israel.
Exactly.
Amazing. In the city of, this was written in the city of Tel Aviv on the Shabbat Eve, the fifth day of Iyar, just almost. We almost hit the same date, May 14th, 1948. Thank you, Chazan, for correcting me. Adonai, let us remember the moment of ceasefire and pray that the downpour of your tears and our softens the hearts of all warning and human beings in the holy month of Ramadan. And the holiest day of the Jewish year, some 2,008, 500 vehicles and 300 aircraft rained down on the earth and leach into the iniquity that machines should suppress human beings. The metal and chromium steel are worth more than the flowers and mountains and the storied history of the land, of a land unto which Arab farmers and Jewish ones molded the swords into plowshares, nursed babes under common skies and states, finding within themselves and each other the courage to trust and to heal together.
And then the ancient bondage of Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar stretched through time to pull us to our baser nature, our blood and theirs, firstborns and concubines' sons. And so, as we selectively looked through our past, we watched our shared work slip through our fingers and the earth grow dead with despair. And when the better angels are lost to us, let us look beyond fallow ground to the mighty heavens, to the maker of rain and winds. Shake us, unsettle us, O Maker. Pour unto us the tears of those afflicted by war, so we may finally know the opposing side and the most important blessing, to live, O Maker. We pray that we all shall live.
Chaim. When peace comes, when the tunnels are gone and the walls come down, when we sing together as brothers and sisters, we will remember these days of sorrow and grief, of rockets and terror, of longing and despair, as a memorial to those who were lost, as a remembrance of our mourning, as a monument to our yearning. On the road to wellness, on the road to wisdom, and on the road to our days of rejoicing, all you children of Abraham, all you sons of Sarah and Hagar, what will you become? How long before Shalom and Salam echo in these hills, in these valleys, and on these shores, as shouts of awe and amazements?
How long before we remember to hold each other dear? Adonai, maker of all, banish war from our midst. Speedily bring forth justice, understanding, and love. Bind these wounds and heal our hearts. On that day, the children of Ishmael and the children of Isaac will dance as one.
We indeed need a reconciliation with our cousins, without a doubt.
We will dance as one. Joy will rise to heaven, and gladness will fill the earth.
You will find the words either in the Hebrew or the transliteration.
Those who light the candles, this will be a good time in your own homes right now to light the Shabbat candles, if it is time, depending upon your time zone, as we move to the Kiddush, to sanctify Hashem's name and sanctify ourselves as we prepare for this wonderful time that is called the Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagefen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzotav v'ratzavanu Shabbat kodsho ve'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehila lemikrai kodesh Zecher lisyad Mitzrayim Ki banu v'acharta Otanu kidashta Mikol hamim V'shabbat kodshecha Ahava uvrahatzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat
Amen.
Rabbi.
L'chaim, Shabbat Shalom. I cannot think about anything better than to start the Shabbat with Chazan Peter and Pastor Matt. I really can't think about anything better than that. Wait a second. I can think about something better or just as good. Just as good. Not better, but just as good. To hear Dvar Torah after you hear those beautiful, beautiful melodies that touch my heart deeply. To hear Rabbi Bernstein give us Dvar Torah to start the Shabbat, I don't think there's something that can top us off. So I'm going to beam in to this Shabbat studio, special Shabbat studio, Rabbi Bernstein. Rabbi Bernstein, Shabbat Shalom to you.
Good Shabbos.
How has been your week? Are you excited about this Shabbat as much as I am?
I am very happy to be in Shabbat. Yes, thank you.
I think we all are.
It's been a very busy week at Shuvu.
It's been a very busy week, and you can maybe take a moment before we start. Tell us a little bit. You're heavily involved in this Night of the Bride project. Tell us a little bit the progress. I understand you gave a pretty big surprise to people. We have not talked about it yet, and you've been reviewing some work. Can you tell us a little bit of your impression of what's going on right now?
Well, there's a lot of very, very good work being done that's going to be presented at the Night of the Bride. I was charged with looking at the Mishnah, Tractate Bikurim, which is in the Yerushalmi Talmud. It's not in the Babylonian Talmud.
Interesting.
And Rab Shapira told me, make a little commentary on the first chapter. So I started to work on the first chapter, and I couldn't really make a good commentary on the first chapter unless I talked some about what was in the second chapter.
Okay.
And so I actually went ahead and just started to do the second chapter as well. And it sort of cascaded, so I ended up doing the entire tractate.
You ended up doing the entire tractate. That's fabulous. It's one of those tractates you say, hey, they're fairly dry, but you are able to put some.
It's halacha. It's yes. If you need, don't take sleeping pills. Read Tractate Bikurim. But there is something that's very interesting, and that is in 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Paul refers to Yeshua as first fruits.
And I understand that once we read your commentary, we will finally be able to understand what on earth he was talking about.
Absolutely. He didn't say first among the resurrection. He said first fruits. He could have just said first.
Wow.
So, and in order to understand that, you really have to look at the Mishnah.
Oh, how fabulous, how fabulous. Guys, before we get to the shiur this evening, a couple of important announcements for you. First of all, I want everybody to know that tomorrow at 8:45, this is our time, that our traditional Shabbat Shacharit service starting, Facebook, YouTube, it's all over. Tomorrow will be very special time, very special event, because you see the title, the COVID-19 and building of the third temple. I am going to talk about the building of the third temple from Parashat Tazria and Metzora, the connection to that, and what is happening in the world today. So you don't want to miss tomorrow. Chazan Gordon will be with us for a traditional Shacharit service. He is going to lead us. It's going to be fabulous. All what I can tell you, I can't give all the surprises. We have tomorrow special guests with us, international guests that you're going to hear from tomorrow. So that is coming. After that, immediately after that, tomorrow, 4 p.m., we have with us the prophets, the words of the prophets, with Morel Lance. You don't want to miss that. We're going to look to the Nevi'im. That's going to take us to the evening. And in the evening, you get the treat from Pastor Matt McEwen. He is going to be teaching us a very special word for the counting of the Omer that is going to be brought to us. So you don't want to miss Pastor Matt McEwen tomorrow with Havdalah doing this with us. So again, this is coming, and real quick, I want us to remember that today is the 16th day of the counting of the Omer. So we're going to say together right now, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו על ספירת העומר היום 16 יום שהם 2 שבועות ו2 ימים לעומר. הרחמן, הוא יחזיר לנו את עבודת בית המקדש למקומה במהרה בימינו, אמן סלם. May the merciful one return to us quickly the work of the temple in our days. Amen ואמן. Selah. We're looking forward to this. We also want to remind everybody that we are counting not down, we are counting up to the night of the bride. I wanted to give you a real-time map so you see where everything is at right now. People are working around the clock, friends, around the clock. This is ending up being a 90-page Siddur. And it's going to be available in all of those languages. You can kind of see that English, Italian, German, French, doing good. I need us to pray for the Portuguese, for the work in Indonesia, Korean, Shona, Sinhala, Telugu. We need prayer for those languages. This is a tremendous amount of work. And friend, there is a website that you will be able, Shavuot. Let me remember again the website. I'm sorry, I go blank for a moment. Yeah, it's shavuot.shuvu.tv. It's going to be the website available for you for this. So again, what you can do, number one, you can pray. We need your prayers desperately today. Number two, we need champions to come today and say, I believe in this work. I'm believing in this, and I'm going to sow a seed into this work right now. So we have a link for you right now as the Lord lead you. Thank you for your gifting for the night of the bride. Tomorrow you will hear a little bit more on that. And this is an exciting time. It's a prophetic time. Shavuot, we're going to be broadcasting 13 hours with the Siddur. All of us will hear the 10 commandments. Matthew chapter 5, the Chazan will lead us, and then we have 13 anointed speakers that are going to come and to teach us all through the night in this historic and prophetic moment for the body of Messiah. Now, what we do every Erev Shabbat, we have a special segment. It's called Divrei Halacha Mussar. This is actually turning to be an incredible series by Rabbi Bernstein, because he's looking at some things that are obvious, but some things that are not so obvious. Is we believe that in our yeshiva, in Ahavat Ammi ministries, that we cannot just stay on the high level. We have to talk about things also on a halachic level. So Rabbi Bernstein created this series for you that he connect kind of the Mussar, the high level things like Shlomo HaMelech, to a practical halacha for day-to-day 21st century. I hope that in the future we will be able to put in a book, some sort of a book of halacha and Mussar. It will be a great, great book. So I'm going to turn this broadcast to Rabbi Bernstein now to give you a word. Thank you for your gifts and support, and we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow morning at 8:45 Shacharit. But right now, it's time to Devar halacha and Mussar with Rabbi Stephen Bernstein. Thank you so much.
Shabbat Shalom lekulam. Good Shabbos. Yeah, so we started off, we're looking at Halacha and Mussar last week. I wanted to take a couple of minutes and give you a little bit of history. It's what I do. I try to put things in context for myself and for students, comrades, people studying with, because it's very, very important. In the late 1700s, early 1800s, Judaism in Eastern Europe had solidified in a not very good way. It had come to be something where the elites that had money could sit in the yeshiva all day, that they were the ones that were thought of as being able to be close to God. And if you couldn't do that, if you were poor, if you had to go out and you work for a living and you didn't have time to sit in the yeshiva all day, you were sort of a second-class citizen. And an entire movement in Judaism rebelled against this whole setup. It was founded, unbeknownst to him, it was founded by a man that became known as the Baal Shem Tov, or the Besht. And the Baal Shem Tov said, really was giving a lot of teachings very much like Yeshua HaMashiach. Now, I don't know that he was thinking that, but that's the kinds of teachings he was saying, where it's faith, it's what's in your heart that drives everything. And if you don't have time to sit in the yeshiva and study all day, it's okay. It's what's in your heart. And the whole movement of Chassidut, right? The Chassidim came out of that. So the main body of Judaism saw this happening and saw this rebellion against them. And they put up walls against this rebellion. And they became known as the Mitnagdim or Misnagdim. And they viewed themselves as the protector of the faith. And the Hasidim, they viewed themselves as the protector of the faith. And they didn't really like each other very much. And you had the Baal Shem Tov on one side and the Vilna Gaon on the other side of Vilna in Lithuania. And there was an animosity that was built between them. And from this, today, is the Hasidic movement and the Orthodox Jewish movement. So they're very separate. And people that don't understand the history say anybody that's observant is Orthodox, and it's not true. The Hasidim are very different than the Orthodox. So if you mean Hasidim, talk about Hasidim, or you could talk about Haredi, but that's different than Orthodox. Okay, now, so what happened was that in this Hasidic revolt, the Misnagdim looked at themselves and understood that there was something at the core, at the very core, missing. And so they had to create something to get the spark, the heart back into Judaism as they were practicing it. So Rabbi Yisrael Salanter created what has become known as the Mussar movement. And the whole idea was a return to heart faith and ethical behavior. And this was amongst the Misnagdim. It was an answer to Chassidut on the other side. So they're both sort of pursuing the same noble goal, but from two different directions and two different, if you will, political backgrounds. But the goal was in essence the same. And so a lot of the things as we study Mussar and its relationship to Halakha, a lot of what we get really comes out of Chassidut. And the other parts that we get really come out of the Mussar movement, which was started by Rav Yisrael Salanter. So I want to look at some of that today. We are in the middle of Torah Kohanim. We're in the middle of the instruction to the Kohanes, otherwise known as Leviticus. And it is precisely that. It is the instruction to the Kohanes. It is straight halakha. And as you read it, your eyes cross. It's, first of all, it's all Kohen temple-related stuff. So we don't have a real grasp. We're not down to the temple 3 times a year to see the Kohens doing their thing. We don't have that. Temple isn't built yet. We will have a rebuilt temple soon in our days. So it's difficult to identify with any of it. And then the instructions are specific and vague. And because we can't picture, if you haven't studied what was going on with it, it becomes very, very difficult. But there are underlying principles within the halakha which have tremendous ethical consequences. And the Chazal understood this, and the Rishonim understood this, and all of the sages throughout history have really gotten this. And so for this particular Devar Torah, or this particular series, we really want to have a look at the Mussar of Torah Kohanim for right now, the Mussar of Leviticus. So this week's portion is a double portion because this is not a leap year, right? So our portion is Tazria Mitzorah. So I want to look at the beginning of this second half, if you will, of the portion, Mitzorah, where if it was a leap year, this would be split off into its own portion. So this is Leviticus chapter 14, and it begins. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "This will be the law of the person afflicted with tzara'at," or in Ashkenazi, tzaras. "On the day of his cleansing, he shall be brought to the Kohen. This shall be the law of the person afflicted with tzaras." This opens up an entire line of questioning, right? Why would somebody be afflicted with tzaras? Well, the earlier part of the portion it deals with what the tzaras, what the tzara'at looks like. Who is clean, who is unclean, right? Tuma and tahara. Who is tuma, who's unclean? Who is tahara, who is clean? And sort of the how of it. But it really doesn't go into the why. And the why is not really dealt with that much. But there is one story that sort of opens up to us an idea. And that is the story of Miriam and Moshe Rabbeinu. So suddenly, Miriam contracts tzaras. She becomes a mitzorah, a person with. And why did this happen? The Chazal discuss. The understanding is that she spoke lashon hara about Moses, and that's the reason she got tzarat. Okay, so from the earlier chapters, from chapter 12 and 13, we see that tzarat is not really, it's not a disease of the flesh. It has symptoms in the flesh, but it's not a disease of the flesh. It's a disease of the soul, okay? It's a disease, so we're dealing time and space, so that means it's a disease of the nefesh. It affects the neshama, but it is a disease of the nefesh. And so it's a nefesh that has to be healed. That's why the Kohen has to be involved, is because it's the nefesh that has to be healed, not just the basar, or not the basar at all, even though symptoms show up in the flesh, in the basar. So how do you contract the disease? What is it that happens? And our big clue is that Miriam contracts tzaras from speaking lashon hara. Okay? Now, when looking at this, we also have to look at Solomon. We have to look at the wisdom of Hamelech Shlomo, because Shir HaShirim tells us how to interpret the Torah. But Kohelet gives us a lot of balance. right? Ecclesiastes gives us a lot of balance, and we have to keep it in mind. Okay? Because you and I both know that just because someone speaks Lashon Hara does not mean they're going to get tzaras. It doesn't mean they're going to become a Metzora. Okay, now we know in Miriam's case, it happened. So we know sometimes it happens, but it doesn't happen always every time. That's important to understand. So the question has to be, if and when somebody becomes a Metzora, that someone has this skin disease that's not a disease of the skin, it's a disease of the nefesh, of the soul. Why did they get it? It's not, oh, they did something wrong. They're going to be a Metzora. They're going to be a Metzora. That you can never say. But if somebody's a Metzora, then you can ask why. You follow what I'm saying? It's a unidirectional logic. It has to be. And we know this from Kohelet. Okay? So what does this really mean? What goes on with it? And I look to Vayikra Rabbah, which is the Midrash, the Agadic Midrash Agadah of Torah Kohanim, of Vayikra, on this passage, specifically on this passage. And let me read to you. It's quoting. It says, this will be the law of the Metzora, which is Leviticus 14:2. This is that which is written. And the Chazal immediately quote Proverbs, Shlomo, chapter 6, verse 16. And it says, 6 things the Lord hates. 7 are an abomination to his neshama. And these are them: a haughty bearing, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a mind that hatches evil plots, feet quick to run to evil, a false witness testifying lies, and one who incites brothers to quarrel. Rabbi Yochanan said, all of them are struck down with tzaras. Now Shlomo, in his wisdom, is connecting being a Metzora with all of these behaviors. Okay? And a commonality among all of the behaviors is that they are not as much behaviors as problems of the heart and problems of the nefesh. They're all problems of the heart and problems of the nefesh. We're not talking about violating Shabbat. We're not talking about eating something unclean. We're not talking about bringing a sacrifice which is puzzle, right? Which is done wrong, right? So that God sends down fire to consume you because you brought strange fire to the Mishkan, to the tabernacle. We're not talking about those things. Look at what we're talking about. A haughty bearing, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood. Okay? It's important to see the difference. We're not talking about the shedding of innocent blood. We're talking about the hands that do. A mind that hatches evil plots. We're not talking about the performance of evil plots. We're talking about the mind that hatches evil plots. Feet quick to run to evil. Right? Just having a personality, having something within you that just that you go to do evil. You just go. A false witness testifying lies. And one who incites brothers to quarrel. Right? Again, these aren't violations. These are violations, but they're violations of the nefesh, violations of the heart. Okay? And Rabbi Yochanan tells us these are struck down. These are ones that can be struck down with tzarat, with tzaras. That you can become a mitzvah for all of these. What is the problem with a haughty bearing? What is the problem with a haughty bearing? Does this violate Torah? Does this violate Torah? And the answer is certainly not directly, but indirectly, yes. But, okay, so you see the conversation we're having? This is not a thing like murder. This is something we have to talk about and express because it is murder. It's very much like murder. Okay? But you have to dig deeper to see it, to understand. It's not obvious. What happens when you have a haughty bearing? You strike a relationship with others that's not healthy. When you have a haughty bearing, you look down on people. You're not approachable. Right? This is not good. Certainly, if you're a teacher, you're not that effective as a teacher if you have a haughty bearing. And if you're a student, you're not teachable if you have a haughty bearing. Okay? Can someone approach you, and if they're in need, can they approach you if you have a haughty bearing? They can't. Is this loving your neighbor as yourself? It is not. And that's the problem. So in more of an indirect fashion, it definitely violates the Torah. As Rav Shapira just pointed out, mitzvah ra, right, is a relationship between the tzarat and evil. It brings out evil, motze and ra. Okay? What kind of evil? Well, that's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at. That's what a haughty bearing is. A lying tongue. Lying tongue's evil. Okay? What can a lying tongue hurt? Everyone. A lying tongue can hurt everyone. And it takes just a minute of thinking about it to understand the truth of it. Okay? So this is one of those things that you can be struck down by tzarat for. That's lying. Lying. It's a small lie. And there isn't such a thing. There isn't such a thing. Okay? Now, you may ask, what about a white lie? The answer is that a white lie is not a lie. Okay? Hillel told us that every bride is beautiful on her wedding day. Right? So do you tell a bride if you don't think she's pretty? Do you tell her she's not beautiful on her wedding day? And the answer is, of course you don't. Why not? And this is where the Chazal really ring you. It's because it's you. It's your problem. If you cannot see that a bride is beautiful, that's in you. That's in your heart. That's in your nefesh. You were the problem. Okay? So a white lie like that is not a lie at all. But it can reveal something within you that's not exactly what we're looking for. Okay? So, haughty bearing, a lying tongue. These things can bring on tzarat. You can become a metzora. Hands that shed innocent blood. Now, we're not talking about the shedding of innocent blood. We know already that this is chait, that this is a sin. But the hands that shed innocent blood, what's being spoken about is the capability of doing it. That if someone has the capability of shedding innocent blood, they have the capability of shedding innocent blood, whether they do or not. Now, Yeshua spoke about this also. Right? What about adultery? Well, if you commit adultery, this is a sin. And Yeshua said, if you even think, plot to commit adultery, that's a sin too. Kal v'chomer with murder. Right? If it's true with adultery, even more so it's true with murder. Right? And the only way that can occur with murder is if you have hands that shed innocent blood. That's what's being spoken about here. What's a potential consequence of that? You can be struck down. You can be a metzora. This is not something we want to do. A mind that hatches evil plots. Again, Yeshua was referring to this kind of thing also, right? Hatching the evil plot is one thing. Having a mind capable of doing that, there is something wrong with the nefesh. There's something wrong with your nefesh. And it'll come out. It's sick, it's diseased, and it'll come out. You'll be metzora. Not always, remember Kohelet, but it's certainly a potential. And all of these, beginning to end, that are talked about in Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 16, the Chazal point to and say, this is what a metzora is all about. This is what contracting tzarat is all about. This is why Miriam contracted tzarat. Lashon hara, the evil tongue, is right up there with these listed in Proverbs 6. So think about this, consider it. Gain control of your heart, gain control of your nefesh. And have a blessed Shabbat, and I will see you next week. Shabbat Shalom.